to you, dear brothers and sisters in Christ. We hope that today's word will truly, truly bless you. Do you know about the 30-minute walk? Now, I'm not talking about the 30-minute walk that you exercise and you go around your housing area. I'm not talking about the 30-minute walk that you can do in a mall, but now with all the lockdowns, you can't even go to a mall, let alone to walk for 3 minutes. What more 30 minutes? Now, I'm talking about this passage in John chapter 9, verse 12. It's probably a passage that you've heard many times before. Now, this talks about Jesus healing a man that was born blind. This was not a situation or a condition that he had for a few months or a few years. He was born with this disability. And here now he comes to Jesus, and you know the story about how Jesus takes the mud, he puts some spit into it, all right, and then he makes it into a paste and he begins to stick it on his eyes. And this is what it says. Jesus tells him, he told me, go to the pool of Siloam and wash. Now, when we do Bible study, it's very important that when we read passages like this, we don't just read it like a story and just bypass, but to really go into it and see, now, what is God trying to show us? Not just by the words that appear in front of us, but what is the lesson God is teaching us? So when Jesus told him, go and wash in the pool of Siloam, this man did not question God. He did not question Jesus and say, why should I do this? Why can't you just lay your hands on me and say, be healed, and then everything is done? But you see, what this man had to do is he had to walk to the pool of Siloam. And when you do research, you will find out that the journey between where he was when he encountered Jesus and reaching the pool of Siloam was a 30-minute walk. He had to walk with that mud stuck on his eyes for 30 minutes. And when he reached there and he washed his face in that pool of Siloam, his sight was restored. Now, two things I'd like to point out to you. If you were in that situation, you were there when Jesus was taking that mud and rubbing it into a paste and sticking it in those eyes, and then you hear Jesus telling that man, go to the pool of Siloam and wash, what would you do? Well, if it was me and I was standing there with my husband, I'd be so curious to think to myself, I wonder what's going to happen when he reaches the pool of Siloam. Will anything happen? Well, there's no one around. Let's follow him. Let's be a stalker. I would definitely have done that. I would have walked behind that blind man on that 30 minutes journey, watching everything, standing there at the pool of Siloam and watching and going like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? And the minute he washes his eyes and his eyes is restored, we're going to be amazed. And what will I do? I'm not going to keep quiet. I know my husband's not going to keep quiet. We're going to go back and we're going to message everybody. Of course, they didn't have handphones then. Text everyone and tell, guess what happened? This is what I saw, and I followed that man all the way. I'm sure, even though it's not mentioned in the word, there were those who would have followed this man all the way to that pool and experienced it. Second situation, while he was walking on that 30-minute journey, there were others that probably stopped him and asked him, where are you going? What's that in your eyes? And he would have related the situation to them, and those people would probably have also walked with him. I want to share this with you today because my message is sometimes God may challenge you to do things that are just not logical. Walking with mud on your eyes for 30 minutes and people stopping and asking you questions, and you got to keep explaining and explaining and explaining. Maybe that 30-minute journey took him 1 hour because he was explaining. There are situations in our lives where God may challenge us to do things that do not seem logical to man. You may think, why am I doing it? People may be asking you, what's the purpose of this? What's the benefit of this? But you know in your heart, God has established that. If God has established something, it doesn't matter what people think. It doesn't matter what other people say. If God has established something in you and you need to walk for 30 minutes, you need to walk for 3 years, you need to wait for 30 years, my message for you today is do it in faith, because the miracle is waiting when you reach that pool of Siloam. I pray that you are blessed with this message. Whatever you're waiting for, whatever journey that you're taking, continue to walk in God and have a good day. God bless you.